Hello, people. Hello. Feedback is live, as all things should be. In the flesh, in the digital flesh, but in almost real time. Let me just link this to people. My face is massive, the screen is big. Don't worry, the screen will be very small soon. Alrighty. The homies have been notified. How we feeling, fellas, about this Feedback Friday session? Pretty decent, I would hope. A bit of a waltz to get us started proper. You never know. You never know these days. Okay, that wasn't my official reaction. I wasn't still ready for that, by the way. I'm having a synth off. I knew it, man. I knew it, bro. Pull up after this. Just a night hitting that LaCroix. All right. Percy got the first submission because we aren't counting real. That is not his track. He submitted Flux. That was very funny. Make sure you listen to Flux and visit buntingmusic.com using code feedback. All right. Nonetheless, good evening. We love you. Sounded really good, to be honest. It was far down the queue. Anyway, that's for counts tracks. So I think the chords are fine for this. I notice like if I go too complex with the chords or too layered with the arrangement overall, I don't know, you miss a bit of the simple waltz feel that's present here. I'll use what's necessary type beat. Maybe just end with a root voice on there. I appreciate it, brother. So other stuff, the piano sampler, I know the one in Keyscape has one with a denoise feature, so the noise doesn't stack up over more notes being pressed. I usually keep that on in one way or another, or if you're processing it with multiband, don't do that. Could probably randomize the velocity just a bit more. And the timing's a little more too, even though that's the advice I give everyone. Yeah, I mean, some samplers have something built in order to decrease the noise on it. I know Keyscape does, and it works pretty well. I felt like it kind of turned to droning the chord a little soon when the top is still moving, harmonically. Like, sections are kind of clean cut in terms of the way the arrangement changes. I would make them a little less black and white in some ways, you know, just like, you know, like keep a few like eighth note type or like 1, 2, 3 like waltz accompaniment before dropping out to this simple one note type of thing, right? And at those points I would like alter the dynamics a bit more and pay even more attention to the velocity of the notes, because we want it to sound really non-robotic when it gets simpler, you know what I'm saying? The biggest risk. It didn't sound like this phrase was finished, but like something I recommend like when you're cooking on lines is a lot of times is like more advanced runs. I'm always looking for just a set of particular notes that are hitting in a set time, like to eventually reduce it. So if you were to play like the 16th notes of the run as one note, what would it be? Make sure that note is good. So you see, like in this case being the first note, if their melody is pristine, it gives you a lot better basis to like fill in a lot of like run type notes. And I recommend that you have even more similar structures between every run. Like it went into like the arpeggios into the runs, but then it went to arpeggios to just like something different, you know what I mean? Small stuff you probably already noticed, but yeah. Yeah, and I'm not a fan of this like type of chord choice for this resolve. Boom, ba-dum. The rest didn't give me a jazzy vibe, and just to spin in a like a jazzy type unresolved chord there. It's a bit weird. Very beautiful. So yeah, I would go deeper into velocity. Something I recommend on the velocity is like to have the bass notes kind of even, and like the first chord hit kind of even. Have the second chord hit like lesser. You know what I mean? So instead of just thinking like dynamics in terms of slight randomization and like maybe like getting overall louder over time, I mean, mess with individual notes, you know, as if it's like a hi-hat pattern. So, you know what I mean? Being different velocities. So, I'd really recommend that. Yeah, I can't deny that goes hard though. Yeah, so samplers that work. I know Keyscape has denoising. That's it off the top of my head, man. And this chord sounds interesting. I'll pretend I can hear it in my head once Ableton finally opens. Hard. Yeah. It's pretty solid though. I mean, most of the stuff is just like an attention to detail that most listeners won't find. The biggest thing is like some of the times you're changing the like accompaniment in the left hand just feels too fast or like not in place in slight ways. But yeah, I'm not gonna press you too hard. Contact, yeah. I think the denoise is important. So that and just change the harmony. I think like you pick some slightly dissonant notes too for some of these runs. Like a weird harmony, dun 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 dun, and then you want to resolve to dun 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 dun, which you never did, dun 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 dun. You know, like another thing in writing, I recommend like paying attention to the melodic intervals you repeat off and on, and you could transpose them for a lot more interesting movement. Like if you're hitting like a 6 all over and over again, you could just try transposing that as a whole. But also here, more particularly, do wants to resolve to do or do do do, and it never does that do 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 do. I like to think of every little MIDI note as its own type of line pushing in some whatever type direction. Also, I appreciate you, Percy, for the submission on buntingmusic.com. I set up a little discount code feedback. There's plenty of free sample packs, but grab you a paid sample pack for much cheaper. And also, if you want like the cheapest presets of your life on my Patreon, literally fucking $3 for like a zillion presets from all my videos. So I'd really advise that if you're into Patreon and presets. So that's a direct way to support me. Link will be in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the submission, dude. I love hearing this type of stuff in here, and I've been messing with a bit of it. I'll have to send some. See, Wally says the wavetables are worth it. And he's not trying to kiss ass either. That's pretty rare in today's clout-driven society, bro. So I appreciate it. This is like Lorne in some ways. Ooh, hey. Ooh, hey. That was beautiful, B. That's beautiful. Once again, this new style is super fitting and amazing. In terms of the vibe of this main loop, yeah, some Lauren type vibes. Something I noticed for that kind of style is so here's a pro tip from my dome, ignoring some of the questions for the general audience. Like I've created some really cool Lauren stuff, just almost creating my own lo-fi racks, you know what I mean? Like having just a little bit of fucked up cheap EQ, a bit of distortion in different places across it, you know what I mean? Like pitch warbling, you know, kind of just doing some stuff that a lot of like lo-fi type plugins do, but building it on your own, I find really, it lets you set a different vibe than is usually accessible to you surface level. So that's a tip I'd use. Just go really deep on processing your melodic stuff to get those vintage vinyl vibes. Ambiance is good. We need that Justin Bieber Paul stretch on it though. Power line spitting. Nah, but I think like Paul stretch style vocal would be good. Timing wasn't very clear. It felt like da 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 da, like this punch in da 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 was timed differently. Maybe it was completely washed out with reverb, and the reverb had a pre-delay. I recommend turning that off so the timing da 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 sounds like maybe do da pause da. Her mute's kind of spitting though. Yeah, good tension. Maybe like a hair more here with the filters. I like how you made that feel. Good transition, good fake out. And maybe just be a little more intentional with the reverbs you have on all these percussions. You know, just make sure you're using different settings for each of them. Right now it just sounds a bit messy. I like the sample. Yeah, sub definitely on the loud side, but it goes pretty hard. If you really want that much more audibility, I'd recommend looking at the mid-range of the sub, like boosting some like third harmonic type would be a huge benefit to you. I like that. Boom. Yeah, an arrangement good. It builds tension. It goes in and out of some different material in a smooth, unique sound designy way. I'm really happy with this one. Like it's mixable, you know, and that's very pleasant. I fuck with it. Future garage, burial type dubstep, maybe. I don't know. It's pretty fire, man. Whoop. Yeah, Paul stretch that beat, delay ping pong that beat. Get those random people talking sample. I don't know, I feel like there's a few more like sounds that can probably enhance the palette you have going on, but what they are, I don't know, more nostalgic type sounds, like maybe like fucking processed like 80s electric piano sound type shit. Synthwave, random talking sample. Making that reverb feel more lush. The pulse stretch could do some interest type stuff, but yeah, mess with it. Beyond that, arrangement's pristine. Mix could come a bit, but it's mostly fine, man. Props.
Cut straight to the grid.
This shit goes fucking stupid. He really did this. It's fucking beautiful. Why isn't society talking about this, bro? This shit was a spiritual journey. 3 minutes, 30 seconds of pure light energy, bro. It's inspiring. The shit really is nothing to him. He really did this, man. Big up. The arrangement's pretty sauce. I don't have a lot to change, man. That shit was fire. Probably pretty heavy on the low end. Kicks are through fine. I feel like you'll probably push the main basses higher and etc. I like the vocal use and the glitches of it. It kept it interesting nonstop. Yeah, those kicks, those drums seem too comfortable in the mix. They need to be oppressed right the fuck now, bro. Yeah, and again, common theme, like, I like how the bass sounds processed and sits in the mix. It could be further up, though. Or that sound design, the additive type shit. And also, for moments like this, small riser, big turnaround fill before altering the bass line. Perfect moment for one. I'd really advise some of that. Yeah, or vocal in that space, you know? I like how it follows it in parts. And same thing, I would almost give this like a little tease of a build up before dropping it in. If you're gonna switch up to double time or like just a little amen break in the fill to bring that flavor, bring that juice into the bit. Hard. Yeah, like brighter, fuller processing on some of these basses, you know? So like try the different OTT modes, like turning the time up, turning the amount down is important. You know, slate fresh air is probably good. I'm like saturating, like turning the bass knob down or just saturating the high end, like multiband saturation type shit. EQ better. Mess with volumes. Make sure the sub and the bass are separate for mixing sometimes. Pro tip. And I'd be mindful of where you're lifting the sub. Like I just want to feel a bit more dynamics, like across like the bass arrangement, including its sound design. You know what I'm saying? Stupid. Whether that means pitch bends too is also fine. Intro and outro hard. You know this. Don't process these too hard. They sound like not filtered. Yeah, that shit beautiful. And if in some parts you want to take away the heavy feel by like switching the drums too, you know, like make some parts feel like instead of just like more drop, like almost a break of sorts. You know, even though it could still be droppy or feel like a beat or still get people's feet moving, you know what I'm saying? Just like maybe like the beat could start off chiller before getting into the full mix. Will be a good way to bring in some spice in the arrangement. At least like A, V, A, B, switching that type of energy on and off might be a beneficial way to put those dynamics I mentioned previously, but it's just one way of many. Let me know how you'll get it. This tune is pretty promising and pretty fucking hilarious, man. I appreciate y'all. But visit my website. Thank you. Shit is dirty. This is too scary, guys. It's scary as fuck. Dirty as hell, verified. Damn, man. So fucking loud, too. So, in terms of the layered sound and the sound of the mixdown overall, yeah, it's definitely a bit too compressed, a bit too heavy on the sub. It sounds pretty fine though. It's just much more compressed than most deep shit you're gonna get played. And for the layered feel, something I really recommend you do, go into each reverb, either process it separately or just really be careful where their kind of EQs are sitting. You know, like you can affect the EQ, like frequency band range within reverb, within Ableton's reverb within hybrid reverb, even if there's delays, you can also affect the band. Like, make sure each thing has its own space, or at least isn't bleeding through a bunch of low end or like too much fizz on the highs. You know what I mean? That can save you up a lot of room. And overall, if you're gonna be having things super wet in the mix, sometimes it's better to have more delays than more reverbs. Just they end up cleaner towards certain ways. We'll And once again, like, this goes without saying at this point, but flexing C1 or a C sharp, this will not always do the job, which is the sad part. Like, E flat will just mug harder on like a club type system. It's unfortunately true, but yeah, if you have a good amount of harmonics in the sub, so that would help with it. Your sub keeps hitting C sharp 1. Or C sharp 0, I think it lies about it being 1. Yeah, good percussion, good layers. It's pretty fucking fire stuff. I would like, if you're worried about layers furthermore, like having them sidechain too would be good. It sounds like you have a bit of that, but I would keep the sidechain tight just to like make it not sound any more mashed up by mixing than it needs to be. You feel me, man? Yeah, standard stuff, just like at these variation points, like there was one, make sure it's noticeably different and noticeably more layered. Same stuff here. Turn down the compression a bit, turn down the low end a bit, just give it slight more headroom. Yes, it's true. Frequency buildup in lows and low mids. Like, it's to the point, so I tested it, like, making a wub, just a wub that pretty much has the low pass resonance just sweeping through the whole thing. It sounded really bad on the subs versus low cutting it and just having a sine wave made it sound way better. It was just a mess of mud with the low resonance sweeping through with the EQ. That's the problem with the club type systems, man. He's spitting. And I'll tell you that, like, having that kind of soft clip sine shape really does make it a lot louder. And I wasn't able to tell when I tested between that and the default sine. Beyond just the sheer volume of it, it didn't sound more or less deep. I don't know, it's pretty solid, like, and you did a good job of EQing it where you could to make the layers kind of sit. So yeah, the compression is definitely a part of it. But also, I would just say in the future, just layer a little less. I don't even stand by that though. got pretty damn loud. Yeah, I just say overall, this is a lot of layers for this type of arrangement compared to average. And there's a chance it might sound cleaner if you just like negotiated how much wetness you need, negotiated how many of these extra samples you do really need. There's nothing that stands out as bad here. I'm just saying overall. It's a pretty solid track. I've been sitting on it for a minute, but I can't think of much else to say that's pretty bad. Like the arrangement goes places, it sets a vibe very heavily. Real deep sounding, real beautiful. Big dub. Yeah, switch between soft clipping and limiting overall, and even a little compression as a treat. Pretty solid tune, brother. Gonna re-record the cello. Yeah, cool impact, cool build up to it. Laugh is like the pre-drop, and then you kind of fade the sub into. Yeah, pretty badass. Step arrangement. I enjoy that, you know, chopping it up harder, like pushing the limits on what you could do with the intro build, because a lot of time they're going to be mixed into anyway, you know? Is my opinion. Yeah, for this intro part, I'd say the drums, kick, and snare are definitely too loud. They just don't need to be this intense based on what's happening. Plus, your spirit. So, a big thing. So this bass, it needs more sub layered. This is the one track tonight that doesn't have enough sub. Make sure there's a sub, like you can just layer a sine direct out at the lowest octave you can do. Just because if you look on the spectrum, there's a bit of low end, but you always want that first harmonic to be the most powerful, like the first peak it has, for the cleanest sub effect. Another thing is you put a lot of disperser on this, which I love. It's beautiful, it's tasteful, but it's, for one, it's a lot to the point it's as if there's more resonances sticking out from it. And also, I think the low end has a bit of resonance. It almost gives it this release tail, which I don't know if we always want to keep it the cleanest. Make sure it's more or less monoed and there isn't too much kind of ringy type resonance that would mud it up, especially when you try to play it louder. You know what I mean? Snare sounds fine. You could maybe low cut it harder. And for these risers, I would like bass mono them and just decrease their low and mid content with an EQ to begin with. Just a little messy, B. I appreciate y'all being here and peeping this stream, man. You're the best. I don't know. The intro part into the, like the intro beat was a solid transition I'm pleased with. You the best music. That went on a little long. I recommend filtering, having a bit more riser type sounds just to really nod to the audience like we are moving forward in this, you know what I mean? Appreciate it. Y'all bless me on the regular. Bless yourselves. Big up yourself, as some say, bro. Yeah, same thing. Make sure there's not too much low mids in these type of risers. Hats could definitely be a little more present in the mix. This kick feels overly transient, almost feels like, I don't know, like psytrance kick. Not quite a dubstep kick, but it's subjective, you know what I mean? So, keep messing with the kick. Watch reverb stacking up. Lower decay times, make sure they're EQ'd out proper. Yeah, and fake cello, you can always get a pretty decent sounding sampler, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna move on. I appreciate you, man. And don't hate your song. It's a beautiful masterpiece. Alright, yeah, Cal Tracks, you're right after this Gentleman Frisian. Womp womp. Oh, beautiful. You're the best, bro. Pretty banger. Where were the questions though, Frisian? Bro didn't add his questions. It's pretty good. I would download it. I'll maybe put vocals on this type of beat. It's very beautiful. Very cool. Need more of this medicine type vibration on the waves. Yeah, great patches, great harmony. Amazing sound palette. I love the different feels. You got like kind of brass. That's smooth. Those beautiful arps. Holding back those arps for big moments. I think even just like EQing out, but having some lower like oscillator layers, like root notes in these super saws, is a sound I prefer. Even if they're being EQ'd out for the 808, it still makes it sound fuller at parts. And for some reason, I feel like I want this 808 more saturated. It feels too like signy, too sub, too bassy, man. Yeah, and if you want these transitions to slap even harder, one thing is just to add a little pre-drop moment, just cut everything and have some type of sound effect or vocal, you know. Boom. And you could even like EQ this part or process it harder for this like tease before the drums come in fully. You can like redux it, you could like band pass it, you could high pass it, like reverb wash it, you know what I mean, before finally bringing it in. Just so that like turnaround pre-drop thing has more power behind it, more dynamics, in my opinion. And to be honest, it's not as my preference. I don't really have a huge problem with it here, but to heavily flow on the call response and something that might be waiting to lay things down a bit more firmly, melodically, you know what I mean? Just because, I mean, maybe this is overreaching, but in my own advice, I start off maybe making a melodic thing, more call and response dubstep-y style, but I just notice I prefer the layers most of the time in the end, so I switch it away from pulling back and forth. In this instance, I'd at least like not feel like it starts over again at this point. That was kind of abrupt to me, but that's about where I draw the line with that mindset, but a bit overreaching. Or like add downsample to the sub. Yeah, watch the harshness, watch how much high-end stuff stacks up in these bright moments with cymbals over top. Pretty loud. Pretty fire, man. Jungle sounds beautiful. Like that bit of noise, very fire. Very bouncy. It's still a bit loud. I'm noticing this weird reverb. Just make sure that's not affecting the actual low mids of it for the most part. Okay. Reverb on the sub. Another idea I think it'd be beautiful to like resample some washier bits out and just sample chop them. You've heard pretty trendy and a lot of beats these days is they do like just glitch chop one part for each chord change, you know what I mean? So it sounds like frozen in time almost. Pretty neat variation type. Yeah. Yeah, and I think any type of vocals, like acapella type shit, would be gaseous on such a beat. Very beautiful. I'd maybe expect more of a clap or snap type layer for this type of drum loop, but other stuff I like for this sound palette, I like sparkly triangle type sounds, like sparkly inharmonic sounds, like some digital cymbals with those like bright inharmonics. Additionally, like wind chimes are a great sound to layer or use in a type of atmosphere transition vibe. Oh, you thought I was about to start playing piano. You thought wrong, bro. But that reminds me, look, I'll try open Ableton. If it opens proper, then maybe we will hear some piano. But let's move on for right now. Pretty dope part. Yeah. Once again, support myself by visiting buntmusic.com. And Ableton is opening. Wow, it's a miracle. Mother of layers. Getter type beats.
Acting up, they go get you fucked.
What a bright and wholesome ending. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Yeah, someone mentioned Getter Vibes, absolutely. Like 2010s era dubstep, pro step, whatever. Pretty solid though. Yeah. So off the top of my head, I'd make sure your sub is hitting consistent between patches, you know. You can multi-band compress the lows for the easier way, but yeah, make sure they're all using the same sign patch, sign sub patch, and or they are just similarly EQ'd, similar levels. Pretty filthy, bro.
Acting up, they gon' get you fucked.
Yeah, and the arrangement's pretty much there. I think low-key, you could let that impact and the start of the break come in a little louder. It feels like it's been artificially decreased volume-wise. Like, the impact can peak as a treat. Yeah, make sure that first sample that comes in feels like it gets resolved by this. I'm not really sure where its sample trails off to, but it starts off sounding very dark, but then, like, you know, use OTT when you need it to sound louder and or brighter for the most part. Less mid-rangey. More subby sometimes. Phase dispersed, you know. Peace out, Magdweed. I appreciate you. Yeah, so I would either like taper off or filter out that initial sample in the beginning, or just do something to it so it doesn't sound like we're setting up such a tense atmosphere, and then I'm kind of question mark when it gets happy. But low-key, it was cool. I just wasn't sure if it was intentional, you know what I mean? Yeah, and for this type of intro, I would honestly be comfortable with just keeping the sub lower so it's not such full power as the drop will be. It shows, yeah. Too many people get caught up in too much OTT. This was one of them, by the way. Like filter them, like high pass filter it up. Definitely decrease the sub amount, or you can start pitch bending it just so we have that needed tension for this part. You know what I mean?
Acting up, they gon' get you fucked.
Yeah, and I'm noticing some weird processing, like some low mid rumbliness. There's a layer we don't really need on this. You see, there's some, you could see it, like it's like flashing up the low end on the meter for some reason. Yeah, I pretty much would want to remove whatever that is. Yep, too late, brother. Read the description. It's 10:30 on Fridays these days, bro. I miss you though. Yeah, props on that, like, squeaky fuck sound. Oh. Okay, SoundCloud tab is crashing. This is great to know. Yeah, I love that little boom boom, like eliminate peekaboo type sound. Pretty badass. Yeah, and I'm impressed this is all phase plant. All sounds really good for some phase plant basses. Yeah, sounds like you have a better workflow than me in phase plant, but I had preferred it. It really popped off though. I can't read, but I love you, bro. All right, man. All right, for those who prefer listening to words, 10:30 p.m. EST every Friday, stream feedback channel in the Discord, which is linked in the description. That's how you get your tunes submitted, bro. Yeah, and maybe snare could be different. I've been on the fence about the snare, but same rumbly bullshit here. I believe you. I prefer a lot of the time, like, instead of just layering things on and on with faceplanes built-in effects, I just do it in Ableton stock with like some nice little drawy LFO one. But faceplane definitely has some appeal even besides that. It has a great wavetable creator type engine. It has great sample manipulation. You can go much deeper on FM and layering oscillators than any other synth. You're not really limited in any sense there. But these what it is, bro. I'd maybe like sounds like you EQ'd this guitar more than you needed to. I think its fuller tone could come through. It just sounds like it's a little muted, like a little band passed. Like bring it up, make it a little wetter. Chorus type would meld really well with the basses. Yeah, and this part's fine. Make sure the sub is in key with the rest of your shit. In fact, for these melodic parts, making it follow a chord progression and boom, 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 and minor like 1 1 1 1 5 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 6 5 5 5 5 type of beat will be pretty beneficial, man. That would be pretty beneficial. I'll just be honest with you. But beyond that, you're pretty solid, bro. I would give you the sign off, man. Other thing I would say, yeah, pretty compressed, but it sounded better on the mix down for me. Yeah. Well, watch the mix of these dark vibes, dark theory type chords and this main guitar riff. It just sounds pretty weird at points. Other things I recommend, yeah, I like that you stuck to this like guitar riff to give the intro a bit of theme, bit of structure, but I would also recommend finding a bass riff you might ride harder for or vary upon more to pick as the primary theme for your earlier section. Just so people walk away and you know there's something like real catchy, like real indicative of your tune that you've made, you know, versus too much making it over complex. It makes it harder to kind of stick in someone's mind. But that's my opinion. You don't need to lean that direction unless that's your type of vibe. Yeah, your sound design, your mix downs, like overall have gotten way, way cleaner. Like these are much more presentable mix downs these days. Some weird layers and a little sharp, you know, processing. But it's just gotten leagues of improvement. So I appreciate, man, you returning and then putting in the time invested in your own production, my dude. Gang, gang. Gang, gang, dude. Appreciate you, brother. Whoa. Hey. Hey. Phase plant users taking over, bruh. It's doomed. It's doomed for vital enjoyers and serum appreciators. Phase plant is the... Now, how to spot a phase plant user in the wild? Just look at their base. If it's like oozing with just like wet dripping sauce, it's probably phase plant. All phase plant user know is EQ and disperse. Any phase plant user born after 1990, hot chip and lie, bruh. Sounds good as fuck, though. I'll be honest, man. I've been messing with that Cyanoid fold saturator. What y'all know about that? What y'all know? With a bit of notch filters on top, a bit of spice, a bit of flavors. Needs more reverb throws. Now, honestly, though, it could benefit from that. Like, honestly, one of the main differences in terms of like some tipper, like resonant language type beat, which I assume is like a reference for this style of track. I'm just assuming, all right? No hate, no hatred. No hatred in my fucking live stream. Visit buntingmusic.com with your sorry ass, bro. But I think the textures need to feel more varied. Maybe there needs to be more of a feeling of negative space, you know what I mean? So stuff like reverb throws would be dope. Like if you took some more time to sprinkle in sounds on their own that weren't so bass built, like, you know, like squonks and type shit, like higher end mid lead business, I think that's what I would push on. In my opinion, it sounds like one of the primary things holding it back from that type of style, but who knows? Maybe this is an intentional move on your type of thing. But yeah, for that and just like for general resonant language type shit, like I would see like how you can more fundamentally change the sound of like the harmonics. Like it sounds very neuro-y and like washing machine tumble type shit, but like really pushing peaks and notches and like altering them independently. So it goes like from going wah to wow, you know, like really hitting these different formats, these different harmonics, make it sound like it's hitting different pitches, although it starts on the same pitch. Through the power of just distortion and harmonics, I think is the thing that really makes it sound amorphous and just like jumpy. And there's a bit of that, but I want it even more apparent, even more up in my face, you know, even more jumpy in many ways. Or at least, if not that, like reverb throws, chances for negative space. All right. So that was my long spiel on why Hokey just needs to just fucking... Why Hokey... Why I ought... Not that that isn't here. It just feels like fuller than those type of tracks in some way. Like it's more heavy and less like squonking up my cerebrum. You know what I'm saying? But alas, this is our choice. Maybe we want it to hit the body, not the cerebellum type shit. So yeah, like altering the EQ peak so it better reflects like different formants. Also literally just having different FM harmonics in there, switching those to make it higher or lower, you know what I mean? Or just different harmonics straight up layered, I'd be fucking with these days. Yeah, definitely just get it up on the cerebellum. You know, when you do squonk, just make sure you're aiming properly. Yeah. I don't think the arrangement is too chaotic, and I mentioned in some ways I wanted it more chaotic, but so essentially, like, if we could draw a line chart based on your track of like the high and low like harmonics, I want it to be pretty jumpy. You know what I'm saying? And additionally, like in terms of like loud and soft dynamics or like the variation of texture, I want it to be more jumpy. You know what I mean? Because right now, like the riff is pretty complex. It's not like a simple like riff you can almost play on guitar or the bass. But I feel like I want the sound design more scramble with that just to enforce my previous point. You know what I mean? But I don't want to influence your sound too much. So that's definitely a way I think it differentiates it. But what I'd advise, I don't know. Pull out them juicy filter shapes. Just putting out some ideas. You know, I don't want to cast too much doubt type shit. Snare pretty good. It's definitely got a lot of high end that's getting kind of scrambled to the high end. Maybe sidechain it. I think the intro was fine. It was done really well. Like, I would have maybe liked if a little more atmospheric, like vibe setting elements came in, just to, you know, capitalize the most off the outro rather than so smooth, which you did achieve fine, but that's about it. I like those parts. Maybe in some sense, like these parts happening more often. Another thing to keep in mind is that a lot of your basses have taken this like sharp, like stab wub envelope. You know what I mean? And varying it from that on its own would probably give you a lot more feels in your palette. Like you have some sustaining modulated ones and then like the sharp wubs without a lot of deviation. So like a longer wub, like something a little more rolling off the filters and a low pass. Or maybe something that's kind of doing that more pitch bended would be a great amount of variation. Maybe something that is given the space to ring out rather than just like sharp for so long. You know, and that's where reverb throw shit comes in. But I'm just spitting all types of shit out, man. It's a pretty solid track. I'm not really able to tear it down on the foundation it's built upon. So I sweep for the legs. And he's floored, bro. Looks pretty damn good. And all that business, man. The tunes get more competitive by the day. Around the flock, soon we'll take over the nations. With bird in hand, with ovo in tow. Oh shit.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
Peekaboo type sound. That shit was pure filth. Not an ounce remains that is holy. Truly sin has corrupted bro's vessel. Bro's popping the fuck off like that's the festival ready type main stage wook shit sound, man.
Lost everything, but we're free to do anything.
Peekaboo inspired sound palette, but bro does it so well. Bro does it like he made it. Like he invented the wave. He is the wave. He is the people, man. Not really like professional sounding tune, bro. And I'm mentioning like all these bits of sound design on it, they feel really varied in terms of where they're hitting, you know. All pretty different in terms of texture. Definitely find some different harmonics to split notes between, and that's what makes it pretty standout in my opinion. Yeah, they're just good sounds layered together. They're just arranged well. There's plenty of good fill moments to contrast it, you know, that classic like sustained bass type shit. Transition into it was pretty fine. It takes its time, but it makes it an interesting vibe. Low-key, this part could be done without, honestly, if you're trying to spiff it up. Or maybe I just want it to feel like it's at the minor root a little clearer at this part. But that'll mess with the interest. Whatever, man. Whatever, man. I feel like by this point it could have taken a little more energy up. Like big fill, boom, boom, like to really stupid build rather than something as mild. And bringing up that kind of like bell sound to repeat faster, maybe pitch up would be good for the tension too. Or reverb washing it to oblivion.
We're free to do anything.
That fill felt slightly forced there, but that's the only phrase I can complain about. Random shit at the end. Or more verb wash. No, it's really gas though, and I recommend like for the final master, like I think a clipper will take care of most of your shit. Like there's just a few drum peaks for the most part on what's not flat, what's not compressed. So good job on the mix. Yeah, flow and sound palette's really good. I would only say the last fill felt like it came in a different space, or maybe like I just want something done different for the final one, or just like a vocal or something to tie up, like a nice little bow tie knot type of beat. think if you want to like tie this build up into something more intense, but also reflective of the musical idea developing, maybe just freeze those vocalists and then have them pitch up, you know, as a riser. Pretty bro.
We've lost everything, but we're free to do anything.
Second drop kind of mogged. I feel like on this drop, I want some of these wubs like crunched or like riffed up so they sound really dense and loud, like more the second basses, but that's my opinion. Maybe I just divided Who's Bro collabing with against him, so.
Lost everything.
Love those like formant, those resonant harmonics on those basses. I'll just like slam it, crisp it up with distortion and slam it louder in any way possible. Beautiful.
Lock up.
All Black Airs banger. Oh, Black. Pretty dirty, bro. Pretty filthy, pretty nasty. Pretty rinsed. Outro long. But we need that for them DJs, bro. I didn't skip your track, Brody. I can confirm I didn't skip your track. Shit's out of order. I'm tired of saying this, my man. Anyway, focus on what's the problem at hand. Nah, but I need you to understand, like, the Discord shows it out of order, so typically most of the time when people are like, my track, you just skip mine, it's not true because I'm seeing something different on my screen than your screen. And this is the screen I'm using to select the submissions from. You know what I mean? But I appreciate. But don't worry, I tend not to miss people. And if I truly miss you, I'll get you afterwards. So do not trip about it for one damn minute, bro.
Flock up.
Lock up. I almost missed it. Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's the same for every week. It always what happens when everyone spams a message at the same second. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know. This was a banger. Bro's tunes have gotten more and more ready with passing time, and I think they've slapped live. I've had the pleasure of hearing some live. Good SFM signs. So yeah, good reverb giving it the atmosphere. I like the vocal too. Good build. I like how you played with the placement of the acapella here. Didn't give it like an expected like flow to all back, you know, like boring pre-drop. You spiced it. You add a little seasoning. Like, and the sound design that comes in here is quite dank, obviously. I don't know. This is reflect the deep sound pretty well, but I'd be curious how it would sound if you would process these basses a little more aggressively, get them a bit brighter type thing. Let's see. I at least think as is, it's pretty heavy on sub. And yeah, you mentioned my opinion on heavy sub. A lot of time, like, I feel like, especially live, the sub is going to bust no matter what, but the highs are what we really have control over more so. Yeah. And just for more context, you see certain artists like keeping their sub like a bit more decibels higher on the reading, at least on span, which I use, versus like less deep artists. They have it pretty flat response. I argue the flat response. But anyway, how's the arrangement feel? I think this one could deserve a second drop. In terms of my taste though, yeah, I would flip it to something like maybe like more distorted wubby, more noisy wub. I often say like how Cursa, like Micro has those really deep wubs contrasted with like the grittier vocal wubs. You know, for a second drop. Or maybe like something sustained but still kind of flowing. Or maybe you can go like full shades or like some type of longer sustained riff with just that analog style grit upon him. Would be pretty based for a second drop. I don't think vocals are too repetitive. I don't know. Repetitive vocals are fine, in my opinion. I mean, it sounds fine. If it was too repetitive, you probably wouldn't have laid it down. It probably would have gotten annoying. Like, people that have their ears open to pick out super repetitive vocals, though, will be mad at it, but they just get mad at repetitive vocals. That's what they do. That's their one bit. The watermark at the beginning, it's too gas, bro. Lock. Like reverb wash him, like auto filter the kick maybe. Yeah, like if you want to brighten up these wubs, just standard OTT business. Maybe a little bit of redux, maybe a little bit of noise. Not all the above, maybe all the above. Maybe just like a little bit of riff type like noise or some other distortion, mild distortion, just to spice up the high end. Sound fold is pretty good. Any distortion will do. It's pretty fire. But yeah, overall, yeah, just like limit the shit. Get a little more compressed, like pretty much a heater, man. Outro definitely felt long, but it is what it is. More reverb wash, more like atmospheric sample, interest pushing through. Get a weird pulse stretch thing that you like bandpass over it. Boop. Yeah, I just know like in terms of mix, it's fine, but as a listener, I was like, yeah, like we good off this. And also, I encourage dudes, per usual, like just try something spicy on the outro. You know, I think the intro and outro are parts that there's a little more flexibility on before you at least hit that build up, drop, arrangement lock in, viewing type phase. But even then, I think it's interesting to put in a bit more of a wild card to the outro. I think it's possible for it to be really nice for DJs, but also engaging for just a streaming listener that won't feel like they have to skip to the next part. You know what I mean? But that's my opinion. You're right, man. Yeah, I just add the Naruto. Bro said it. I like this, like, what is this? Like a dark green coming through? That's pretty vibey. Yeah, and you could kind of cut that into the second drop and then like just taper this, you know, like insert time, squeeze between there, and it could fit as your break and then outro. In my opinion, I don't know, it pretty much looks black, but it's just something's a little different. All those fire beats. Get it twisted. Hey, wheel up. Yeah, I love this one. I love the flow of that boom, 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 boom. Just really fat and full sound, but just lifting it off, call and response style with a pretty swaggy drum beat. It appeals to me heavy, bro. Too much beef? I don't know. There's plenty of sub. Probably too much sub. Main bass design's pretty solid, bro. Yeah, sub does sound really fat, though. Too much, too much. My reference, so I use span. I make sure the sub bass is about level with the rest of the mix in terms of loudness. Like, pretty flat bar. That's my reference for sub these days, bro. And or line it up with Spectrum with another track, but Loves can make that weird. The yeah-woo break. For lack of better words. I don't really think mixes that shit. It's pretty loud for the intro. So yeah, this bass could probably be OTT'd a little more, brightened up a bit more overall in the mix. Same with this kind of bass. Yeah, I mean, mostly just bring the mid bass forward. The rest sounds pretty fine. And yeah, it can probably get squashed down with limiting a bit on the mastering type shit. Or you can just bring the volume down, but that's boring. Man. I don't know, it's pretty simple to the point track. Like, just, you can add a bit more variation, like duplicate it, then outro it, and it's mixable in a set, you know what I mean? That's a good basis. Reverb throws in those shits. Maybe excessive on the top percussion layers. Might be able to get a bit more straightforwardness, straight sauce, without overcomplexifying it, just like stripping back one of those layers. You know what I mean? If you want verb throws to be easy, Endless Smile is a pretty simple plugin for smooth brains like me. Yeah, also timing on one of those loose percussion samples, could be lined up a bit differently. It feels a little too lazy, like J Dilla type swank swing. But these beats are pretty straight beyond that loop, so I mess with that, bro. Write a second drop, man. I mean, think of it this way. It's an opportunity to make an even harder drop, because a lot of times when I start the second drop, I'm like, I prefer this one. You built it with all the knowledge from the first, you know what I mean? But just duplicate your shit there. Like literally just like copy and paste this and then edit the second drop with like second patches, and like it's that simple, you know what I mean? Flip the arrangement, see if you find something cooler, more sustained bassy or different. I don't know, bruh. I got some McMahon sounds, McMahon sounds on the hard drive. I think might be my first feedback. I appreciate some of that saturation type beat. How to Chris, man. I've covered all the sounds. What do you want, man? What do you know? Y'all could probably figure it out. Y'all could figure it out without me. I'm playing. I'll make a vid, but you know what I'm saying. That's my belief. Are you referring to the Grizz or the McMahon on You Need to Know buckets? Yeah, so brighten up the main sound design, like bring that kick down, maybe like limit, compress it on the master. Less sub, definitely just copy paste to the second drop, the Grizz. I don't know. I don't know. It's just some sounds, bro. I don't know. Like, watch the Jansen tutorial. But like, yeah, I might do it. Like, honestly, Grizz, if you genuinely want a Grizz tutorial, he's not up there on my list. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's like Jansen type sound. on most of the stuff. On the more like instrumental arrangements, yeah, I could probably cover that a bit. I mean, like mostly, like the signature sound, you just want to have like more oscillators layered on fifths and octaves. To be honest, and just process them just as hard, or like go into a long patch you have and just find something to put on at a octave layer. Probably used for more wavetables type shit. Sounds like there's a good amount of dispersion on this type of stuff. Disperser. Or like, it even sounds like Vital's fucking phase disperse mode for the squishiness. Disperser saw type beat. For some reason, I don't believe Grizz made this one. This is where I put the... What the fuck? Get your ass out of my damn... Oh. Yeah, that's like classic like square 4 rhythm shit. I would not waste much more time, but like, yeah, I might do tutorial. Don't bet it being one of the first ones because yeah, it's like rhythm shit. It's like subtronics, like disperser tutorial shit. It's like Jansen type shit, you know what I mean? So your challenge is to build the sound palettes of artists that I haven't made a video on using videos I have made. It's brilliant, really. No, but I mean, that's how I feel. Like, with the video, with the current knowledge base I have, like, I'm able to mess with some of this shit. But you're just going to have to believe me, apparently, since I'm a poser who's not even going to do it in front of you, man. Proof. Pay me on buntingmusic.com. Get a private lesson. buntingmusic.com/booking. Support your boy.
He's so cool. It's cool now.
And now for the coolest motherfucker in the room.
Pretty heater. Pretty. For real.
He's so cool.
Yeah. Beat is good as fuck. Riff is good. I like the sound design. This one's actually... I actually really fuck with this one, man. Great wood. You get in my wood, bro. I appreciate you. Sub into the stream, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, like that funky Jet Set Radio type beat.
And now for the coolest motherfucker in the room.
That was pretty loud and dry. Channeling some copycat type energy. Really appreciate that. I don't like the points where I just hear the thing modulating in and out, but the sub is still going. I prefer the sound of when it sounds tight with the sub, or like there's maybe some moments it's too choppy. Like, let me hear his texture, bruh. You have so much beauty underneath that low pass Ableton auto filter, but you keep hiding it from the world, and I'm ashamed, bro. Yeah, this would be sound design tutorial on this, bro.
He's so cool.
Yeah, really dope shit, man. Good amount of distortion on this. I would probably say, like, push hella fucking peaks into distortion. It sounds good, bro.
It's cool now.
And now for the coolest motherfucker in the room.
Yeah. I would like my habit, even when I make a tune like this, I still just put like a big ass long impact or like build up or just big ass impact on the end, maybe just like a little like 1632 bar intro type shit, you know what I mean? Because I love having the opportunity to like possibly play a track out or at least have it ready to like mess around in one of my sets, and that type of shit makes it so much easier. And also easier if somebody hears this and it's like, I want to play it in my set now, you know, and it makes it flow better when you control how the tension builds. So I would probably add that, man.
Now for the coolest motherfucker in the room.
Good way to vary this. So pretty low and gnarly for the beginning. I mean, layer harmonic and layer some more higher sign harmonics with FM or just a direct layer would pretty quickly change up his flow and how he adjusted the modulations. Like, I'm preaching to the fucking choir here. Not enough people modulating shit with that method, bruh. I'll be the first to say, and the last. I'm probably the only, bruh. No, not probably some other dude in live stream that's probably said this, but modulate y'all shit more, man, and in ways that really fundamentally affect the tone. I think like most top tier variations are doing it in that method. You probably want it both. You want like it to be a wash, but also have it be in key. So just like whatever, E minor pad on an E minor track is fine, man. Or most of the time I just filter out the basses and reverb the fuck out of them, then like some type of riser build up, you know what I mean? That's how I generate my atmosphere. Not too goofy. In fact, it probably needs more goof. And an intro and outro, and what else? Probably heavy on the low end, up just a bit. Other shit. Push that low end on the kick a B. Wow. Pretty dirty and beautiful. I love to hear these harmonic type basses used in some fresh ways. It's very melodic, very beautiful, very different. I don't know. Am I getting Buckets vibes from this? Little filter good. I like how it's layered melodically. I like how you modulate this main bass a lot. There's more notches, bro. These more phasers. Flangers. Theorem is not free, man. They're lying. This part sounds like it wants to go do 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 do. So it's like on the 4 of the major scale. I want it to go to the 2 because that indicates it's moving a bit closer to the root we were at earlier instead of just meditating on this 4 for some reason for eternity. Yeah, so keep those like moments of tension moving a bit more. Do 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 do. You know, there's more ways to kind of creep there harmonically, more interesting ways, probably. In my opinion, maybe this was the best one your ear preferred, and that's blessed, bro. If you want to switch up the sound or a spicier, like really just build something similar with stuff other than sine waves. Like especially it sounds like a 5th bass. That's probably one of the easiest. Just layer something at a 5th, you know. Saw waves, process them, distort them, you know, get a saw wave on a sine, you know, all types of shit you're able to do. But you know, keep it on the same harmonic. And that's also a good way to vary your sounds is to even if you're switching the texture, make sure they're on the same harmonic. They have a similar bass tone before you make one really dry and hollow and the other like squishy and wet and gritty, you know what I mean? Like, so nice method for you people trying to find more interesting crisp variations for basses. Thicker harmony type. I want like some harmonic patch that will just like glue together this mix with the harmonic bass or something like that. You know, like for example, maybe not on this level, but like in Flux, which we've been talking about for some reason. Stream Flux by Bunting, out now on all platforms. Stream it today. It sounds really amazing. It sounds like relay. Sounds like video games, man. It's beautiful. But there's a chord patch, a super soft patch that I process in tandem with the kind of harmonic, like mid bass. And I just got them sounding like almost one sound. You know what I mean? I think that sound could be effective here. I'm not sure what the patch would be. Maybe like some low pass saws, maybe like redux signs. You know what I mean? Maybe something like that. Extreme flux. There's a bit of it, but it's pretty washed out. And yeah, acapella stuff. I'm gonna keep the acapella on. Keep the acapella. I don't know. If there's no acapella, just have more lead elements, like stuff in the same range, stuff speaking to it melodically, a little more interesting rhythmically, or if there's no vocal, just layer it a bit denser. For the most part, is the simplest method. And if that doesn't work, hit me up. I'll let you know further moves. Yeah, so get like a great harmony thing on these like mid like B sections on the basses. Like make sure they're creeping, kind of indicating their movement towards the minor root. Maybe find like a pad to kind of glue this harmony together. There's fine. It's not giving me a bunch of energy though. I need more high end. Low key like hats could be more interesting, or have some cymbals kind of fill out the mix too. More modulating, more sound design variation. Yeah, and I'm gonna move on, man. Structure is fine, to be honest. I'll just keep on messing within those boundaries. What I like to hear more of, I want to just hear that bass go even nuttier on the way it just morphs through harmonics, you know? You can have multiple harmonics. You can have the octave and a fifth and a higher fifth, and then modulate between them, pushing harder or less on distortions. Be beautiful. Appreciate you, man. I played a show in Pensacola. It was a movie. I'm looking for the opportunity to play more shows, so if anyone else is interested in having me out for a DJ set, or perhaps an educational masterclass, or both, put down my email. Hello? I don't know. 1 drops are fine, man. 2 drops overrated. Nah, unless there's like some genuine need for a second drop, I think like if it's mixed in and outable, 1 drop is plenty. In fact, if everything was 1 drop, maybe it'd be easier in some ways. But yeah, I'm not gonna force you to confirm the 2 drops because I've been enjoying some 1 drop bangers these days. 3 drops can be fire. Do what you will. Just Structure wise, at least make sure it feels like there's an intro, like a low energy, like a build up pushing towards the drop. You know, the drop isn't too long and there's some point you could mix out into something else, you know. That's, I think, the baseline for some shit. Just have a fucking mix in and mix out. But you probably already know that, for better or for worse. And if you don't know that, I'm sorry. Vocal processing is fine. It's pretty, like, dirty, pretty subdued in the background. Yeah, weird low mid harmonics. I would always watch that. You know, the cleaner sub, the better. Make sure you have the sub in the best sub ranges. Make sure the fundamental is the strongest. Is my best advice for the cleanest sub. This will hit different, but maybe not clean. You know, or check this type of shit in the car, I mean. I love the sound of those fills. Those are really fucking mean. In fact, I want to hear more of those textures, honestly. I don't know. Overusing any sounds? I mean, the most obvious is that one chug. Honestly, not my favorite sound in the mix. Yeah, so you can like carve out this 808 with more EQ, to be honest. So, like, if you are trying to lay things down like fat as fuck in the drop, don't go below like E flat is my advice and pretty common tendency for people. Like, you're losing volume at starting at D pretty much. But if it's for the sake of the harmony of the track and you don't need it like super firm, laid down, like max volume feel, C is fine to bounce off of. Maybe high C would be better sometimes, but yeah. And additionally, make sure you boost like the low mid harmonics no matter what, but especially if you're trying to push any volume at a lower notes. I mean, the thing is, like, you can enjoy the tracks here and it sounds good, but like if you're playing on a super loud setup, it would sound like they just had less sub compared to the next guy is the problem. You know, and try it if you don't believe me, man. Try it, bro. And also, you don't want it in C all the time because it makes it have a much less wider range of tracks to mix into. But that's the whole conformity versus being built different type argument. So, man, it's up to you, bro. Yeah, I love that chug. That's my favorite sound by far. I would like put in some reverb throws in these empty spaces too. Just, it adds flavor, man. The zappy laser and this siren sound. Those are like the two best sounds, bro. Keep messing with it, dude. To be honest. Maybe like double this or like quadruple it, you know, for that much easier of a mix out. But yeah, dudes, I appreciate that turn. It's pretty solid, bro. Too sad. Sounds good as fuck though. Ooh. Movie type.
Wow, wow. Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
You're gonna want me when I'm gone. You're gonna want me when I'm gone. You're gonna want me when I'm gone. I'm gonna haunt you when I'm gone. When I'm gone. When I'm gone. You're gonna want me when I'm gone. You're gonna want me when I'm gone. You're gonna want me when I'm gone. I'm gonna haunt you when I'm gone. When I'm
Banger. Didn't see shit. But a verified chiller. When I'm gone. That's actually me on the track. I'm proud to announce this is my first collab with Gabe. When I'm gone. This is a really solid tune though. I thought it was very beautiful. I love that reverse sound. It didn't feel minimal to me, to be honest. It felt proper, man. That sucks. What do you mean, bro? This is my first collab. All right. All right. Yeah. So you say more high frequency type layers? No, my opinion. And that brings me to speak. Like I mentioned, like the sub being level with the highs is a good metric for me. But if the track is more in the minimal or just overall like dimmer type mix, like not as exciting, not as bro step, massive high end type feel, it's fine, man. You know, like trust your ears on it. I wouldn't add shit that doesn't like appeal to the vibe or the beauty of what's pre-existing just to like fill out the high end to meet some standards, bro. This why the girlies aren't on Instagram without them filters anymore. It's true. The loudness wars, it's like face filters on Instagram. Think about this. Write this down for your first music production podcast that you're going to force your homies to bump. Doesn't need shit though, man. The live drums sound really good before the second drop. I thought they were a little high-endy, maybe like multi-banded. They stick out as pretty bright compared to the rest of the mix, so I'd adjust that with your EQs, a little less high, more mid. Saturation type stuff. Make sure they're not clipping with the cymbals either. This is fire. Honestly, it would almost sound just as good if it was just the 808 and this main lead. And push that main lead. Dun, dun. I think the rest of the basses are cool, but like for some reason, I can almost imagine this on one of the fuck ass like Trap City channels with the visualizers. And if it was on that channel, it would have less layers. So that's how my brain knows. That's what tells my brain. Nah, but I think just the sound of that 808 and like that huge downbeat does plenty on its own with the melody. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful, bro. Too many like layers creeping into this vocals range, just kind of impeding, I believe. And vocal sounds plenty bright. If it's like a splice type vocal, you probably don't need any more like OTT and shit on it. Like, if anything, that there's a mild over processed film over this, just a bit, like a little too much OTT, loudness, compression stuff, just a bit. It's more the layers, not the vocals with each other, even though that's part of it. But the extra layers, you know, like. My thought is when you're building like real chill melodic shit like this, like you don't need your bass creeping into the high end with its sound design, man. Like just keep that shit on the low pass. Bro. No, but that's what I believe, especially when there's like melodic lines and just solid songwriting and progressions at stake. I just prefer to, you know, keep things a bit more to their range. Like, don't modulate too much on sound design is my preference. Not that it's the major problem with this one or it has a major problem. It's just a beautiful tune, and I think we can push it that much more with those type of arrangement choices, my opinion. I think it'd sound better off SoundCloud, this type of atmospheric beat. I really appreciate that, man. That was a beautiful tune. I love to hear the brothers in our community trying different styles, you know, always expanding out. Becoming the most versatile bunch of homies the world has ever met. Join the Discord, fam. Brum, brum. Brum, brum, brum.
Nothing you really want is ever given away free. You have to pay for it, pay for it, pay for it, pay for it. And usually with your heart.
Yeah. Drop that one. I really like that. That's beautiful. The bass was fat, but the way it built its riffs, it was kind of moving. You know what I mean? Pretty spicy, pretty different. Obvious thing I hear a bit of reverb on these basses. That sounds cool. Try to keep it the most you can out of the mid range, you know, with just the processing you use. And of course, out of the low end, you know, maybe it'd be best to have a dedicated sub, you know, just separate, low cut the mid bass and standard type sub bass. I feel like getting some cymbals layered up top could help with controlling the energy in a bit of places. It's a nice type of sound. Snare is fine, it's not my favorite. I like a little snappier transient, you know, like compress, punchy transient, compress, soft clip it would be fine. Or a layer. I really appreciate that, Infernus. Very generous with the donation, brother. My thanks to you. Again, segue to my own promo, buntingmusic.com is often a better place to donate to me because I give you shit in return. But I appreciate all the monetary consignments, brother. Really appreciate, man. Have a blessed evening. DM me on Discord, probably the best place if you want any personal questions or a little feedback, man. I want to be there. Support the supporters type shit. I appreciate. All right, Brett. For Bobby Bill, this tune's pretty fire. Another thing, you know, variation at different parts between the first drop, the second drop, the first half, the first drop, first half, the second drop to the second. You can probably modulate harmonic series type stuff. See if we can go from going from to from or from, you know, tune it to higher octave or tune it to a fifth, you know, on whatever type of FM you have, just mess with it. I think there'd be some cool different tones, especially with this melodic vibe. If you get some fifths layered, be beautiful. Peace. Even though I think the main one is already a fifth, so. Yeah, good on you for keeping that bass kind of tuned to make it more melodic, you know. I don't think it's corny. I think a bit of release or reverb and or like RC20, just pitch deviations could make it more vibey, less cheesy. Little chorus. Yeah, I'll probably dial back this bass on the whole sub and mids, and see how full you can make the rest of the arrangement feel with just its layers, because the way it's built up and arranged in this melodic way, I think you can pack a lot of beauty. Like I want this pad on its own to sound warmer, maybe more mid-range-ish. I heard this little bam, 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 bam. I like that, and I'd be willing to hear more. Another thing, like, it took me a while to concede and just start using some melodic presets, you know? I'd mess with a lot of melodic sound design, but when you start whipping out some presets and referencing shit, it makes me realize how much I don't always, or at least didn't in the past, always have at my disposal. So don't be afraid, especially if you're using like some sampler instruments, you know what I mean? I think that is what sets some tunes apart from using just all synths and the stuff. Yeah, Omnisphere is good. Whatever else, man. Contact. Whatever you prefer. It's all beautiful, man. Or, you know, just start using some one-shots in a sampler instead. Just encouraging people overall to like expand your melodic selections if you're feeling stuck with some sound offerings from what you can build on your own, you know? Try to get a little bell one-shot, bruh. It's possible. Didn't feel all over the place musically. I think like a little more like repeated lead line and just a little more cohesion on like these filling like atmospheric layers above the bass, right? And the mix needs to be balanced so the bass is a little lower and the rest feels fuller in tandem with that stuff. The rest is probably fine. I think some like vocals can be good to like set down the vibe a bit more, or like choose some sounds into your palette that give it a bit more of a theme. Like I enjoy the vibe, but like, you know, for example, how I feel Charles' theme, like he has the visuals, rest in peace, of like a beautiful forest, you know what I mean? Has the ambiance in the back, you know, or some things might like have fucking trippy alien sci-fi sounds, or some might be very like psychedelic world-based sounding, you know what I mean? Like I think that theming could like push it that much more emotionally. Maybe a vocal could put that across real fast, just some cheesy fucking Alan Watts type shit, nah. But do what you will. I appreciate that tune, bro. What a cast of funny men, bro. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you sticking around for the stream, man. Make sure to show support to the homies in here. Uplift each other type beat. That was pretty fucking dank, man. The cover art is silly as fuck. I hope you drew this. Goon's treasure, man. I love the vision, bro. So yeah, I'll bring that kick down and put a little side chain if there isn't already. Kick sounds weird, almost like it's pitched too low. Snare pretty cool and different. Maybe a little more high end on the snare. Yeah. I would put a little more harmonics on your sub and just bring up the volume overall and check the note of it. You know what I say? If it's below E flat, you might as well say goodbye to that. Love that bit of Rhodes. On these type of sections, I would say play with a bit more like echo, delay, reverb, just a bit of wetness just to make them feel a little more atmospheric for the whole arrangement and just more different when they do pop in the moment. It's not the end of the stream, bruh. I just said peace, homie, to the Gabe. Homies being plural. He's a multifaceted being with many identities within his spirit, bruh. Gotta put it down here, bro. You're up here. Yeah. And be a little more flexible with bringing in and out parts of the drum loop, if not the whole thing. Just, that's one of the number one arrangement tips I would tell to people. You know what I mean? That's how most like fucking top 40 shits are arranged now. At least most hip hop shit, you know what I mean? But it's a very popular method. Times 50. What is this, RuneScape, bro? It's pretty silly though. I enjoy it. Another thing is a little bit of filter modulation on these like individual leads from foam, so they feel more dynamic for me. Buy every pack from buntingmusic.com, and the stream will not be ending right this minute. Yeah, so create that contrast by bringing out the sub, you know, bringing in and out the drums, maybe having a bit more wet elements on certain moments. But yeah, it's a pretty solid tune. Make sure the sub is proper. A little less dry in places. Just that kick type shit. Wet snare, please. More filter for these dynamic like build-up moments. Yeah, pretty solid. And you know, like some impact would probably do a better job than a fade out at the end of the track, but that's I'm indifferent to that shit, bro. Let's move on to Poyo Spirit. I appreciate you, brother. Bunting. This shit is fucking beautiful, man. That's proper as fuck. I mean, that's what pristine post-processing sounds like. And like, it almost creates the illusion of being loud as fuck. Like having the tiny bit of room reverb, I think sounds amazing on these basses. Ugh, that's nasty, bro. Yeah, so pro tip, if you want your basses to sound like this, for one, post-process them really well. Be better at that, please, man. But then, like, do a little reverb bus, like the hollow room is one I like. Low decay, very small amount. It's a very amazing sound, as you probably can tell from this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, props on this intro. This was hard. It's like a fucking yeet type beat. Alright, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Can you hear me alright? Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta protect the ears of my listeners. You know, it's my responsibility as a streamer. I'll be putting Soothe on the master. I'll actually be rolling off the high end of every track as if SoundCloud and YouTube hasn't done that enough, man. You're banned. This one could surprisingly probably use more sub compared to the other ones, or a little more sub harmonic. Is my bottom of the line advice. Yeah, I thought the transition flowed about as good as it needs to. You can probably like keep this bass washed out, probably a bit longer, might help with just full wet reverb. Yeah, and mastering, like, what, you're like above 4 LUFs mastering with this method? I think you're solid, man. We should be asking you how to master. Nah, but genuinely, like, soft clip is fine, only a limiter is fine, you know what I mean? It all depends how you mix the track. Like, if you really want to add more, you might be able to push it a hair louder, like with limiting plus soft clipping, or like mixing in hard clipping and soft clipping, just trying to shave off the peaks in different small amounts. You know what I mean? Compression could be fine, but on this type of track, I don't think you need it. You know, make sure every group is limited on its own or clipped on its own type of beat. And every once in a while, like, I might need to like re-EQ some things to balance it, like maybe add more sub, but this sounds pretty fine. I use Ozone Imager sometimes. You don't need to like compress the low end if it's dedicated and you didn't mess it up with the kick level. The side chain is decent, like it'll be decent, but like pretty much boring mix shit aside, man. Yeah, you did a proper job on it. Do a bit of research, take it all with a grain of salt. Like if somebody says like, no, you need this headroom, never clip, they're lying to you. They are blinded. But yeah, just do some research on it, my dude. There's some decent vids about it. Yeah, and it sounds perfectly fine to me. Does the code work on lessons? It does not work on lessons, unfortunately. But yeah. That was beautiful. The vocals really performed. I've been doing that a bit myself. Even like just processing beyond the point of recognition. It's gotten pretty popular in hyperpop type shit. But yeah, it sounded good, and Melodyne and auto-tune make anything possible. It's beautiful. Yeah, and props on the chord progression. I just heard some tried and true, like classic progressions in there that just give it a beautiful and sweet feeling, you know what I mean? I think there's always a connotation with bringing a certain progression in, so it's a very simple way to implement some vibes into your track if you're starved of vibes. Too much sub. Kick pretty loud. Vocals could be a bit louder. And like so could like mid pads. I'm not hearing too much saturation. There's a bit of like nice saturated sound, but it's nothing bad. You know, might not need any, but if it's your preference, I think you performed well with it, man. Yeah. Honestly, like I've talked a lot about your arrangement. Like I think it's still headed in the right direction. So just like keep up this type of shit. Sounds pretty good. Try some harmonies. Harmonies get really amazing on vocals. They're just so beautiful and stunning, man. Especially with some pitch variation. And additionally, you can take clips from your vocals and like turn them into single like oscillations, you know, like sampler style. Have a pretty unique like lead just to throw in your track. It's pretty interesting.
If only you were mine. If only you were mine. If only you were mine.
I mean, I'm gonna stream until all these fucking tracks are finished. But I've been trying to speed it up because this is a shit brick worth of track, man. So, but the VOD will be up. There's a link in the description. Or you can just click the link for the stream in the Discord. You can view the VOD. They're uploaded privately. So, appreciate, bro. Buntingmusic.com. Share some support. What a beautiful tune, though. Yeah. Other stuff. Yeah, see how you can break out of just having these drums and bass laid down, especially the bass, you know? Just see what type of beautiful arrangements you can spin off for just one section with no bass supporting it. It will give it amazing contrast, and especially with those like vocals and like melodic beautiful synths, I think you could pull a lot of amazing shit from it, like make it sound like heaven just opened above your very head. Oh, I appreciate, man. Yeah, I'll be in touch with your email or I'll text your number and we'll talk about what I can get you for the lesson. I really appreciate, bro. Yeah, I just don't apply the codes to the lessons just for my own personal type of shit, man. Alright, it's a pretty long track. I'm gonna cut it at 3 minutes, by the way.
You know, us in this blood, going crazy. Got no love for them shady motherfuckers. He been pushing tunes, yo, like a bag of mama. Fuck the drama piece in the soul, like he Dalai Lama. Spitting like he a llama. He's a gunner, paranoid from the ganja, like a soul, like he Hana. He don't wanna ever say shoulda, coulda, woulda. Would you please bump these beats? Last track list went cardboard, twisting like he Oliver, thinking like he Charles. This is from himself, going through the motions, drowning in the ocean. Quarters he be smoking, truth he be knowing. Nothing is the answer, nothing is his peace, nothing is what he want but the notoriety. Do it for them lost kids who don't know what they should motherfucking be. Taking joy in his doom, just a boy, got him laughing off the sauce, dance a little.
Pretty solid, bro. Pretty solid.
Taking joy in his doom, just a boy, got him laughing off the sauce, cancel him if they have to. Taking joy in his doom, just a boy, got him laughing off the sauce, cancel him if they have to. Taking joy in his doom, just a boy, got him laughing off the sauce, cancel him if they have to. Hey.
Them hellbound fleets doing overtime, dying on your
Holy
lights,
moly.
overnight smiles to a note of light, trials for your gold, man, those toners tight and tied to a note the price is something like a line that I overstride. Can't remember last I felt I had a place in here. Call up in my world, but maladapted from the labor year. And niggas always talking about the plans, but always faking there. Like how you want advice from me. Parasite, but bearing child, sharing like the terror out. You bear the knife, you swear to slide. I carry knives, locked and fully loaded. At my weary spine, you fuckers never making sense. A bag of fucks me ever dry. Not hungry for a sycophant to share them with the Maritimes. Rum, liquor, mill hit, something to feel quenched. Lord, don't provide, pain won't morph into wine.
Yeah.
Took my lighter, lit the blunt.
And the lessons are something that takes up like time from my day, my schedule, as opposed to the packs. You know what I mean?
Just a boy, got him laughing off the sauce, cancel him if they have to.
I don't want to have to go out of my way for something that's not worth my time. You know what I mean? But I appreciate it. And I'll be chatting with you, brother.
Taking joy in his doom, just a boy, got him laughing off the sauce, cancel him if they have to. Hey, he the king, kept watching sing, spending every day like he
Okay.
on the brink, drinking down some.
That's a pretty solid tune. Some of the better rap that swings through this stream. I don't know how people find us. Maybe they're just searching them for ways to self-promote. No hate, just a theory. Because, I don't know, we get every type of track in here. We've gotten rap. We haven't really gotten a lot of vocal tracks, though. Okay, so stuff for variety in the beat. Also, yeah, pretty solid. I don't like the second dude's delivery quite as much as the first. It's not as smooth, not as natural. I think, like, the voice is trying to be too deep, which is fine, but I think you have to like project more into it. My opinion is like when you're like yelling and during the rap take rather than being any type of too quiet, it'll just sound better most of the time. But y'all probably know that as much as me. I'm not too experienced in rap shit, but other shit is like so simple variation stuff, like obvious stuff. I'm just listening on the top of my head. You might have done some of this in the beat, I'm pretty sure. Just like bring out the 808. Bring out the drums, do that at different times. Like bring out the kick, bring out, you know, the hats. So it's clap only clap and hats, only kick and hats, you know. Add the kick and the 808 all at the same time. You know what I mean? So that's the obvious ways most beats are arranged. Other ways, if you want to be a little more creative, like you can pitch samples or whatever up and down certain octaves or add certain octave layers. You can add like one extra bit of like ear candy that's in the same key in the background. That 808 tutorial, you're right. No, I think it is possible. I do get dudes like more from the beat side of things, like coming in ragged on that video, you know what I mean? But maybe. But what I was saying was, yeah, spacing stuff up octaves and lower or having more layers in certain places. One more thing is like you can like high pass the 808 so it's still there, or like high pass the whole mix, or you can even like band pass like Vinyl Crackle or RC20 like your sound for a certain section to make it like a throwback vibe, you know what I mean? But there's a bunch of ideas on arrangement. You gotta pull some. Like this is honestly fine in terms of like a rap song, you know, like the bar is pretty low. It's mostly carried by just the vocalist having a lot of fresh shit to say, but you know what I mean? Other shit is you could like chop it bam 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 bam, like for starting it, or transition moments for more interesting, to make it more interesting. You can also reverse it for the same reason. Yeah, it's pretty fire, bro. Oh, we had a big instrumental part. Damn. Yeah. Additionally, layering the vocals at different points could give it more interest, like layering ad-libs or even just the same take, or I mean a different take but repeated. Yeah, I do hear that. Yeah, and in terms of ad libs, like you can fill up the whole background and arrangement like an instrument would. You know what I mean? Put them in different places, time them, make that shit an orchestra. You know, like a lot of artists these days, even like doing like you hear that on every fucking Yeet track. Him format shifted on some. Oh.
This your boy Hennessy Youngman, aka Pharaoh Hennessy. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
I'm getting a lot of emails from many of you.
Getting a lot of emotes.
Saying, you know, Hennessy. I have no artistic talent whatsoever, yet I'm compelled to want to make art. Internet, I want to express my displeasure with your use of such antiquated terms like talent.
How could somebody misfile something? What could be easier? It's all alphabetical. You just put it in the right file according to alphabetical order. You A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
5 tunes remaining.
This is an interesting kind of sad.
So beautiful, I'm crying. I'm in tears.
Holy shit. Holy shit. That shit was so spiritual. Very rare will eat this up on a spiritual plane, bro. This one was honestly pretty fire, man. I believe it. I don't know, like the chaos I've heard from your arrangement over the past like month, even fucking year at this point you've been submitting. It's just beautiful now. Like you're able to make it still clean on the mix and have moments of tension. So yeah, like if I mix into like this part, I'd be like, yeah, I just did something. I don't know. I mean, I do that. I mean, if you genuinely are more inclined to make incomprehensible shit, maybe you should have a phase of that and then you make the beautiful shit. But that's my opinion. Go with the flow, bro. In terms of this type shit. I mean, also, like, if you really want to hunker down and focus, I'll recommend, like, just find something you're inspired by enough to reference really tight to the bone, you know what I mean? And you'll probably learn a lot from that, or focus it in a more beautiful direction you prefer. Yeah. Some more practical stuff though, so I would give these drums a bit of side chain and push their volume up, definitely. Kick, snare, type stuff. Pretty good loudness, didn't sound terribly squashed either. I'd reference the low end amounts. This could probably have more low end mids on the mid bass. These other sections could have less. The sound design on this is weird, and it's also a bit too low endy because of that, but I'm just a hater at this point. This part did go kind of hard. I'd make sure you have some bass mono utility on stuff. I don't think there's too many automations, no. More melodic elements. I think it had plenty of character as is. I mean, that's my real goal with melodic elements. I mean, sometimes it just tickles the ears right, but a lot of the time it just generates interest. And if you have a lot of vocal samples and a lot of other interesting shit, you know, providing that material, I wouldn't wedge anything melodic in if you don't want it, man.
You basically saying no Hennessy.
I would make sure, like, an easy way to get more character in the track is have something repeated melodically, repeated in terms of MIDI. So if you sprinkle a bit of that throughout the track, or like have one signature sound you keep calling back to, or like the vocal sample, maybe even putting that in a bit more can help unify the feel of it. You know what I mean? The scream is hard. The color bass, spirit blast, spirit bomb. Furry Rave's gonna eat this up. You need like a nightcore version. You need like a 4 on the floor, like type. Alright, only a few more tracks left, fellas. We persevered. What's Chef, bruh? That rebrand? Damn it. Dudes can't follow someone these days. This is dirty.
I started making like things like that about the process of extracting DMT.
Dirty as shit, bro. This track was fucking fire, man. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people that come at it from this, like, world, like, spiritual dub angle. But I think you nailed it because you've already had, like, the proven banger track record, especially in terms of arrangement. This bro is criminally underrated, in my opinion. The arrangements are already always solid. The wubs are always real standard, real AAA type wubs. No chest, bruh. Yes, I had a little chest phase, man. You play any games? Okay. I assume video games, man. It's doomed, bruh. It's doomed, bruh. All that time learning about how to castle. Just for bro to go no chess, :D, my chat. You're banned. Web and flow is dirty. Alright, you can 1v1, 1v. Alright, 2 people in the chat. Battle. Black chess tournament. Yeah, good sub volley in my opinion. Very dynamic. There is a bit of a click. I actually don't mind it, to be honest. It's kind of neat, bro. That's very specific, and I'm glad you mentioned that, bro. I would say this one, ride out the extra length. I like the way... Oh, that's pretty so, man. Alright, anyway, ride out the extra length and girth by adding an extension that's even more layers, or maybe drop it out to just like sub, but then cook with the melodic bits, like bringing a nice... You know. 10-minute game right now. Holy shit. The chess networking is insane, man. Like, I'd be happy to let you vibe on this loop for a minute, man. Like, especially... You've been adding and manipulating it. So tasteful, like it just has what it needs and not one more thing, man. Not one more thing. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm really down to hear more of the sound from you. Very enthused, obvious. Pretty beautiful. Peace, Brody. Catch that Borealis type beat. Yeah, Lodian killed it. I like this word, Sonus Reverie Sound Dream. It's true. There should be a word for that, you know, just the feeling spacing out to some bangers. Spiritual bangers. You kind of jump scare me with the volume and the drop. I think it's pushed too much, bro. Yeah. Sounds like there could be more lows and mids. No, you gotta be in a pretty rural area. Some people out in Western Maryland, so Maryland's where I'm based. Pull up. Any Marylanders in the chat right now? For one, what the fuck are you doing up at this hour? When it's 3 AM, you know the goons hit the streets, bruh. Just Maryland things. You ain't from Maryland. You never had to fight off. Yeah. Too much loudness on this one, though. At least it kind of sacrificed the lows and mids, and yeah, those bright shits are very bright. Sounds like the whole thing is fucking like through the fucking rumble of the sub. And maybe it's just that sound design itself being so high end based, but I think you should probably like have a big pre-drop tease. Bam, 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 bam. That would smooth over the energy of bringing that big ass kick and bass. And I think there's just more to build off of there. Especially you have that orchestral bit. Bam, 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 bam. You know, and make sure you probably want the dynamics as loud as possible for the moment before the drop. But for this moment, it brought in a taper, you know. But yeah, get that kind of like classical cadence feel and a fake out would be pretty insane in my opinion. I think that'd be worth the time. And that'd help like buffer out the loudness and the transition and make it really memorable. Like, I don't know how many tracks have a fucking like symphonic tease. You know what I mean, bro? Like a little flute lead or something that's not as grounded in the like rhythm super chugs. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I don't know. It might sound different outside the SoundCloud compression. I don't think it's be a game changer though, but it's pretty fire. Loudness too much. I think we could peel out this transition moment. Will be pretty fun. In terms of drop interest, it's fine. Still too loud. Maybe like a layer that's outside of the rhythm stuff would be some interest I'd be interested in seeing. Leveling I already mentioned where the sub's at could probably be higher, like low mids, too much kind of high feel beyond the overcompressed. This part's very beautiful though. And don't forget to use some like timpanis or like other big like orchestral libraries if you're going to be messing with it. I think those really just fit perfectly in the sound palette as like impacts and beyond. Intro part almost sounds a little too compressed too. Like I would try to keep them a bit cleaner. I'd reach for EQ before OTT and probably not add much of either. You know what I mean? Or like mid scoop high boost just for the perception of loudness type. Other stuff like you have a lot of things following the same line. I'm sure I've talked your ear off about this before, but you know what I mean? Like maybe hitting like tenths with each other instead of octaves, maybe hitting fifths, you know what I mean? But then you have parallel fifths or like more harmony bass like lines, I think could level that up, another type vibe. But yeah, man, pretty solid tune. Flipping it forward to our friend. That unreleased 140 sound system type beat. My goodness. My selector. Pretty bussin' tune, B. Hey, good on you having that sitar and key. Sounds beautiful. Way to end it. I'm mixing it out. Sounds like a proper 140 kind of tune. I think the mix could end up being brighter. It sounds like there's some weird like stereo mid-range business. Watch out for reverbs. Watch out for mid-side EQ business. This is one of the more interesting parts. I prefer it. Layered harmonics are good as well. Yeah, mix down brighter. You sound like you have some weird kind of reverb processing. Ring some shit out, making it MIDI. I think the high end could be brightened up a bit more. And maybe a little like wetness, a little more layers on the top percussion could also fill it out. Something about it feels like dry and like a little muddy. Like some cracked mud, like some dirt in the sun, like some soil, bro. Real hypnotic with the layers too. It's just been getting more and more tasteful spins on the same formula, if you know what I mean. I appreciate doing it, bro. Where's the dude saying like Badman champion sound, bruh? Like it's the same dude, man. Put him on. Maybe even a little wetter on the intro could be fun for the atmosphere. But Dracula type beat. Another interesting modulation, you can try to like increase the FM or filter mount. So it gets grittier and more open feeling over time. Will be pretty fire. Pretty beautiful. Kick's pretty high, but it sounds good with it. Pat Kelly, also known as Spooked. I'm pretty sure you sent me the wrong link. If it's a private track, you need to make sure you hit share on private and copy that quote secret link, they call it. That's the only way it'll load. Or you can make it a public track in your settings and I'll be able to see it. If you're in the chat right now, feel free to fix that or troubleshoot it for a minute. But if that's not the case, I'm sorry, but you better get skipped, bro. If you're watching the VOD right now and you're like, oh fuck, DM me. You're awake? Okay. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if I feel like waiting for you to fix it. If you just responded now, but I would recommend just like DM me. I'll get it after stream. Just because I need to pick up the homie right after this. So theme will conclude it. Damn. Oh. That was dirty. Performance shift. Performance synth to basic goofy. No, it's pretty hard. like old tipper type, but it's pretty fire, man. This is really hard. Like that riff. That's 30, B. Yeah, riffed. People sleep on the riff filters, man. People sleep on the riff filters, bro. Really good for these type sounds, bro. Yeah, and the dubby, like side dub sounds that come in, really awesome. Like, get that side dub in, pretty underrated type of genre. There's a lot of cross appeal, pollination. Love the way it modulates to be a little more close. The smooth and good contrast, and the way they're modulated is beautiful, bro. There's some big kick hits, but a lot of the smaller ones could probably be a bit louder on the sub, and the second half definitely is too loud on the sustained sub. This is pretty badass. 1v, I'll get to your track. Sorry about that, B. Oh, you did DM me. Let's see. If it's not working this time, I'm gonna just wait. Okay, it worked. All right. Yeah, and something I found pretty good for that like 303 distorted sound, I just like remove a lot of lows and then I distort the fuck out of like the rest of it. And it sounds pretty close. Not you. Ow. All right, then you just stole someone else's identity. You were like, I'm here. When I was like, unless the dude who put this in chat is here, and he's not. Okay, so if you're this dude, shoot me a DM and I'll... Actually, no, wait. He did fix his link. Okay, he didn't have questions though. You're right. No, he did have questions. Okay, anyway, we'll just fucking play it, bro. Last tune of the night, bro. Yeah. Pretty fire, bro.
Some boy turn off them little jump and tin pan sound the way up here. What do you?
That was pretty dirty. That was pretty grimy from top to bottom, bro. It was dripping in ooze, dripping in mud, slime, walkie slush, all the above. No, like the main dub like thing, I'm not familiar with the original, but that shit's a whole vibe on its own, man. But yeah, good sections here. Visit buntingmusic.com. Blah, 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 blah. Transitions are fine. I think that dude coming on, low-key, has all the connotations you need to bring in the fucking wubs, bruh. I don't know. I thought bringing in the brass right at the end was weird. If you would have had it just tail out on a longer outro, like more sequentially or moving each element individually, would be fine. Mix is good. Kick a bit too loud, make sure they get like compressed or clipped by the end. Yeah, beautiful little organ here though. I really appreciate that sound, man. Yeah, it's fine. I'll maybe add a bit of an effect or like a wash out to the organ just to show it's like dipping out so soon. Maybe even a tape stop type of vibe. But yeah, let me know. Good shoes. I want more modulations, more high harmonics like FM type sounds. And a bit of modulation on them would probably make it more interesting, you know, just automation. Pretty solid, bro. Feel free to like dub up these vocals and push them a bit more forward in the mix. I think there's some places stuff sounds like it could be pushed more forward to fill it up in many ways. You can also like resample them or like layer them out octaves or lower harmonies if you want that much more interest. Little dub siren and like bleepy, you know, dub effects should be pretty good on this, but that's it, bro. I'm not wasting any more time with this. Stream numbers dropping and I did all the submissions. I appreciate you fixing that in the DMs, bro. Hope you still see this at the end. But yeah, I really appreciate y'all coming by. If you want to show me some support, website buntingmusic.com is the best place to do that. You can get one-on-one lessons with me. If you want some super duper in-depth feedback and a one-on-one connection with the boy himself, Bunting. At the same time, Patreon. Hit up my Patreon. You get like all my presets I made in my videos, all the best ones, for literally $3 bro. So show me some support through that. I make sure to thank y'all personally. And beyond that, I appreciate you. I'll see you in the Discord. And next week, submissions open at 10:30 p.m. EST. Every Friday, bro. Yeah, set that reminder. I appreciate that. Yeah, contribute to the bangers. Get your tunes up to par. Do not be shy about submitting, y'all. Like, we're all at our own points. There's zero shame, bro. Even if you're not making dubstep, we love a bit of variety. All right, man. Be really good, y'all. I'll see Panda in that lesson, bro. And yeah, let me know if y'all have any local shows going on. Anyone in Maryland type DMV area, hit me up, bro. I'll probably pull out to your show. I'm trying to meet people. All right, peace, y'all.